Hi everyone, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at how you can build your very own website using Python and Python's Flask library. So by the end of this video you'll have a very nice URL which you can paste into your web browser, and when you hit enter you should get an empty page with the words hello world in it. It's a very simple example, and for those of you who haven't yet created your own website in the past using code, I think this is a very good opportunity to give you an insight into how you can use Python for web development. So let's get straight into it. Right, so to get started, you'll want to open up your terminal as a first step. And then in your terminal, so this is where, for those of you who are using a Mac, you will have Python pre-installed. But for those of you who are using a Windows computer, you will want to go onto the Python website and install Python. So once you have Python installed, you will then be using pip, which is a library inside Python, to install Flask. And Flask is the library that will help us to build websites. So you want to write pip install Flask. And for me, it will say the requirements are already satisfied because I have Flask installed. But for you guys, it will say downloading and it will take a minute or two. So then once you have Flask downloaded, we can start creating our website. So you want to create a new folder and we can call this My First Website. Okay. And we will navigate into the folder and you'll want to open up an empty text editor. So in my case, I use Sublime, and for those of you guys who don't have a text editor or don't know what it is, I highly recommend using Sublime. It's very easy to use, and I'll leave a link in the description to download it if you need to. And what we'll do is we will type in from app import app, right? Very easy, and we will save this down into the My First App folder, right? And you will save it down as run from here.py, and you'll see what all this means in a second. But basically what we will do, just to explain things in advance, is that later on when we run our website, we will run this script first, hence run from here, and then inside it, it says from app import app. So we will create another folder now called app. And basically, when your system runs this script, it will run whatever is inside app. It's not really necessary to do this, but it's a very clean way to do it. So then once you're inside app, you will open up again another empty page in your text editor. And this time we will save it down into app and we will call it _init_.py. Don't forget the py. And so just as with classes, most of you will recognize the _init. Whenever you run the folder app, the first thing that will run is this init, right? Just as a rule of thumb. And so what we want to write inside it is you will want to write from Flask, import Flask. And then what we are doing is, remember we installed Flask just now. So basically we are using a class called Flask with the capital F that's inside the Flask library. And so this smaller Flask, this represents the Flask library. And so then we will say app equals Flask __name __. And this, if you look at the documentation, is just a way to set the app. And this app will correspond to the name of the folder that we created just now. And then we say from app import routes. And so next we are saying from app, so the folder that we just created, we're going to import routes. And next we're going to create this routes file, right? And routes will just basically represent the URL that we will create. So you save this down, and then you'll want to open a new text editor again, and we will save this down this time as routes, as we just discussed, routes.py, and you'll see it appear here. And then inside routes, what you want to do is we say from app import app, and then we want to create the route, and we use a decorator called @app.route, and then another decorator @app.route/index. And again, I'll explain what this means later, but we are creating URLs using this, or APIs if you like. And then we say def index. We just create a function that returns hello world. right? And then save it down as routes. And then in your terminal, what you want to do now, we're already almost ready to run this application to get our Hello World website. So in your terminal, the first thing you want to do is you want to hit CD, and then you want to CD into your folder where you created all of these scripts, right? So you hit CD, and an easy way to do this is to copy the folder and then paste it in here, and it pastes the Absolute website onto your terminal. So we CD into it, and so now you can see I am inside the My First Website folder, right? And then if you look at the Flask documentation, what we need to do is we need to export Flask app equals to run from here.py. And this export Flask app is you're telling Flask what to run first. And we're saying, please run this script called run from here. And if you remember inside it, we're saying from app import app, which is basically running this app folder. And because of the init.py, this is where we start our application. So if you hit that, and then finally you type in Flask run, which runs the program. And hopefully you will get a website, your very own URL, which is here. And inside your folder, you also notice this PyCache folder appearing, and you know that's when you've done it correctly. So what you want to do is you will want to copy this website here. So we copy it. Now let me just open an empty web browser. So here we go. And then you will want to paste it into your web browser. And if you hit enter, you will see Hello World, exactly as we discussed, right? And then just to play around with it, you can, if you recall, where did we write Hello World? It was in this function under the decorator root/index. And so you can write hello whatever. So hello Patrick. And if you save this down, we can see it change when we run it again. So for simplicity, after you've changed the script, you can close your terminal and open it again. Again, you want to CD into the folder, so CD and then copy and paste the absolute path. And then you want to export Flask app equals to run from here.py. And then you just want to hit run Flask, right? And then again, you copy and paste the URL and you see hello Patrick, or whatever you changed the script to, that's what it should say here. And there you go. This is a very easy way to run your first website. So if you have any questions around what we have coded today, please feel free to leave a comment in the description. And in the next few videos, I'll be creating my very own blog. I will again continue using Flask, but this time we will create our very own blog where people can log in to the blog, post, and you can follow different people and you can see what other people are posting. It's a really cool project if you're creating projects for your CV, and in the process you will learn a lot of things about how softwares connect with one another while building this application. So I highly recommend, for those of you who are interested in software development, I think the upcoming project will be a very exciting one. So please stay tuned and please like and subscribe to the video. Until next time, see you guys.